Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. So this might not be a great week for new VR game releases, but we do have plenty of new announcements, new game updates, and a huge announcement coming from Meta as they've made their OS available to basically everyone. So we should see an influx of new headsets or just change in development in the next few years. Now I'm going to get into all of that. And there are, of course, links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead. But before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my sponsor, Kiwi Design. Kiwi has accessories for all of your favorite headsets, and they finally started releasing some new products for the Quest 3. On screen, we have their brand new extra comfy Quest 3 Elite strap. I've been using head straps from Kiwi for years now, and they're hands down my favorite. There's a link to Kiwi down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support my channel. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world. Now, I am planning to release a Contractor Showdown video later this week. I have about 15 matches under my belt right now. I don't think that's enough, and I need some more high-quality footage. Additionally, I might be putting out a Madison VR video. I have the game. It is actually going to drop this week. Finally, there should not be any more delays. So I don't know if I'll have time to put that together. If not, I'll recap it in my new series where I do the Smash or Pass, what games I recently played, and do I think they're worth it. Now, I just want to thank you guys. The feedback on that video was absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link up so you go check that out. And I just quickly recap everything I played but didn't do a full gameplay video on and let you know if it's good or not. That's it. But let's just jump right into this week's short list of new releases, starting with Smalland VR. This is a single-player, story-driven survival title where you'll be building, crafting, exploring, and either taming or fighting against insect-like creatures. Now, a major aspect that sets this game apart is you're playing as a tiny humanoid creature, which reminds me a bit of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Simply traveling across your backyard becomes an epic adventure at this scale, as mushrooms become the size of a small house for you, and the simple housefly can be a gigantic monstrosity. I absolutely love this concept and think VR works with scale better than any other medium, so while I'm not the biggest survival game fan, I'm still definitely interested in hopping into this title. Now, the next new release that I'm just not as excited to hop into is Madison VR. It's not because the game doesn't look great, it's more because I'm an absolute coward when it comes to VR horror. Now, from everything I've already seen, heard, and tried, including the flat screen version, this game is absolutely terrifying on both the psychological and jump scare level. Now, I'm not going to go on and on about this game because I've been talking about it in the past news segments for the last 4 or 5 weeks. The only thing I will say though is if I do end up covering this game, it'll only be because my audience wants to see it and you guys are absolutely amazing. So again, if you want some Madison VR coverage, go sound off down in the comments with something like, yes, we want to see you play Madison VR, and hopefully that'll encourage me to do so. And finally, I just want to mention the mixed reality experience Astra, which actually released last week and is currently getting some rave reviews. I've yet to personally try it myself, but it looks like an epic spacefaring journey, and multiple people have recently told me this is the absolute best mixed reality experience they have ever tried. So maybe we can expect to see this in my next Smash or Pass video. Now moving on to new game announcements, this was actually a really good week, and we got a tease of the upcoming Alien Incursion title. Now, we knew an Alien game was currently in the works from Survios, but information was extremely sparse. At least now we know it's coming to Quest 3, PC VR, and the PlayStation VR 2. Now, there's still no gameplay footage or storyline information, but we do know it will be a single-player action horror title. Based on Survios' past history, specifically with the title Westworld Awakening, I expect this to be another cat-and-mouse style horror game, similar to Alien Isolation. Historically, I absolutely love Survios. They were one of the first big VR studios, but after the flop of their Walking Dead title Onslaught, they've pretty much been off the radar. So hopefully they come back strong with what they're calling their most ambitious title yet, and I guess we'll find out just how good it is when it releases this holiday season. Now moving on to another game announcement, the classic RTS title Homeworld is giving us a brand new VR experience. Now, I grew up during the height of the RTS genre, and experiencing a game like this in VR is an absolute dream come true. Mechanically, I'm a little skeptical that they could pull it off, but I am beyond pumped to jump into a game like this, and we shouldn't have to wait much longer as it's planned to release in May. Now, another new announcement that's also coming soon is from Mudrunner VR. This will be a new MetaQuest specific version of their 2017 flat screen game. In it, you'll be driving an array of different off-road vehicles with gameplay modes including a single-player campaign, free play, and Mudrunner challenges. Now, the Quest could definitely use some more racing titles, and we definitely don't see off-roading style games very often. But if you're looking for some more action, the 3v3 competitive shooter Brazen Blaze is now in open beta. I covered this title a few months back and was pleasantly surprised. Mechanically, this hero shooter works surprisingly well and knows how to focus on VR specific elements. There's a ton of verticality and a high emphasis on movement with some near teleportation like dashes. There's also the unique element of having to get up close and personal and finishing your enemies with a punch, plus each character feels truly different to play. My only real concern for this title was it might emphasize competition way too much, leading to only a niche group of hardcore gamers. But I guess we'll learn more now that it's out in open beta. Now in terms of other game updates, Walkabout Minigolf has released yet another map. This time we're heading to Italia, or more specifically, the water-filled streets of Venice. So instead of dropping into the over-the-top, extremely unique worlds that they've been putting out recently, now we have a much more grounded, peaceful mini-golf experience. So for the Walkabout Minigolf fans out there, the game you know and love just keeps getting more and more content. But for now, I want to move on to our main topic, Meta making the Horizon OS available to other hardware producers. This has some huge potential. They gave us some good examples of what could happen, but I just want to talk about the impact it will have on hardware companies. Right now, a hardware company does not want to get into VR because there's no money to be made on the hardware side of things. All the money is made on the software side. We see this in traditional flat screen gaming. Historically, they've sold the Xbox and the PlayStation at a loss, and they make up the profit on games. Meta is following suit with the Quest. They've sold the Quest 2 and Quest 3 near or at a loss for an extended period of time. They make their money on the games. A hardware developer can't get into this. HTC tried previously and then eventually had to just drop out of consumer VR because, like I said, no money to be made, and they can't make their own storefront and compete. The only person big enough who was really trying this was ByteDance with Pico, and even they are struggling. So for the foreseeable future, there's still only going to be 3 VR storefronts: PlayStation, Steam, and Meta. Now, what's good here is hardware developers don't have to worry about producing, selling games for additional profit. They just got to work on the hardware, slap in the Meta OS, sell it, and life is good. That's their major concern. And it allows them to do extra R&D and move into directions that Meta's not really going. Now, the examples Meta gave us is these companies can do headsets that are better in specific categories. Like a headset can be designed mainly for working out in VR. So it would be even lighter, more sweat resistant materials, whatever the case may be. Or Xbox might make a branded Quest style headset that's better with flat screen gaming. It's designed to work with their Xbox cloud gaming, comes with an Xbox controller. It's a great value for people who want to get into VR and also play Xbox games. So there's a couple examples like that. You might also see, people producing headsets that people really want to experience, like a mini OLED headset that runs all the Quest games, because a lot of people are like, no, the Quest 3 has LCD and the colors suck, so I don't want to do it. So there's a lot more range when it comes to the hardware. We can find something that suits exactly what you're looking for. These companies have a much easier path to get into VR, and you're going to have the same compatibility when it comes to games. So this is a win for all VR gamers. I'm hoping someone like Asus wants to do like a super duper pumped up headset. So they just like make a huge battery or larger FOV or whatever the case may be, increase the overall hardware by overclocking or work out something with Qualcomm so they get the chip a little bit faster, more RAM, whatever the case may be, so we could get better mobile games. That's what I'm looking for, because I think the future is mobile, and the only drawback when it comes to mobile for me is performance. That's the major drawback. So I'm not expecting everyone to go and get a PC. It's too expensive. The entry for VR is too high. But if we could get some higher spec headsets, I'd be all over it. And again, like I said, if you don't like LCD and prefer OLED, you could probably find a headset with those specs. So this is good. It's going to be like a new boom for VR, allow a lot more changes, and the headsets won't be throwaway headsets like we kind of saw in the past when it came to PC VR. Lack of support, control schemes that didn't work, like the mixed reality headsets were just a cluster F of not working or crappiness. Now with the controlled Meta OS, and the same game library. This is really solid for us gamers. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for VR. Now, Meta is not stopping hardware. They're going to keep producing supposedly the Quest line. We know there's like a Quest Lite coming out. So overall, this is good. It's going to allow more people to get into VR. I don't like giving Meta more power. So it's like they're going to be taking a little cuts from people here and there, possibly, or they're going to have more control over the industry for sure. I also think the Meta OS needs some significant upgrades. It's still kind of laggy and has some surprising issues that haven't been solved in years, not to go into detail, but it is getting better and better, and Meta has been surprising me. So I'm excited about this move. I think we're going to see some major changes for VR, and that was today's video, guys. If you want more information or detail about this, let me know. Maybe I could do a much bigger video on it, but I just wanted to say broad strokes so people kind of have an understanding of what's going on. But now in digressing, I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.